Hello and welcome to this instalment of Talkin Trim. I'm Jonathan Skinner and today we are looking at the boot trunk areas for the Triumph TR6. Now what we've got here is everything laid out and doubled up effectively for the petrol injection version of the cars as well as the Carburettor Carb versions. Then within that as well we've got the kind of OEM spec in terms of the Black Grained Millboard used for the panels, but we've also got the upgraded trimmed in carpet option as well. So effectively you've got two versions for the PI kits, the petrol injection kits, and you've got two versions for the carb kits, and differences in materials as well. And there's also the what we refer to as the boot liner dome retrim kits, which is completely non-original for the cars. So let me guide you through this. The ones at the front, basically everything currently in your camera shot there, a purely petrol injection. You've got the boot liner panels, which is a 5-piece kit. Then you've got the boot mat, which is 1 piece. Then you've got the boot dome retrim kits, which we actually sell normally as a 2-piece, but for the PI I've only put one out because it actually only affects one side. And then everything now in let me just readjust, sorry. Everything now in your camera shot is the Carburettor version. So you've got the, like say the boot mat 1 piece, you've got the pair of boot domes, and then you've got the panels either trimmed or untrimmed. So let's start at the front of the car. Sorry, at the front of the table here, which is the petrol injection. Now obviously the petrol injection was quite a bit more rare than the Carburettor. But this is the kit for them. So let's start with the OEM spec, which is Black Grained Millboard panels. So it's a 5-piece kit. You get the main petrol tank boot liner board, then you get a pair of the sides, and obviously the kind of, I guess, rear corner valance panels. Originally, they left the factory in this black grained millboard material, fiberboard material. So it's got a sort of grain on it to imitate vinyl and leather. And they were just inserted into the boot trunk areas. Now our kits include pilot holes for fixing them in place, as well as the creases to help you bend round the corners. Now obviously on the petrol injection, the most obvious one is this here, where you actually sort of bend it at a right angle to allow for the fuel pump that sits behind it on the petrol tank. Just to reference in the Bill Piggott book here, this is literally a PI, and you can see that bent panel around the corner there for where the petrol pump sits behind, and these are the sides here. You can't see the valance ones at the back there, but obviously this is the cutaway slot here for the hinge of the actual boot lid, and then you get the one on the side there for the prop to hold it up in place. You also get a cutaway there, that's obviously for the interior light. So again, we pilot hole that part there for you. So that's obviously the original OEM spec. Now what we've got here is an upgraded wool kit, and we're just talking about boot liner panel there, sides, and the rear corners there. So they are literally these, but trimmed in carpet. This one's done in black wool. We do quite a lot of these in coloured kits actually, so people match it to their interior trim, whether that be a biscuit or a tan or a red or a blue. It looks really, really nice. Kind of opens up that boot trunk area, makes it quite colourful, so worth considering that. And then you get obviously boot dome. Now that's not an original. To show you where that goes, it covers up these little bodywork parts in the left and right corners of the boot trunk area, and means that there's no bodywork on show there. So then they're a nice addition. They're actually in moquette, so it's like a wall-based material with a short pile, so we can tie that in with the colour of the carpet that you've gone for. Then finally for the PI, you've obviously got the boot mat there. Now this one's actually been done in nylon. The rest of the stuff in this video is wool, but we do offer a nylon as well. I just thought I'd throw this in there to show you the differences in the materials that we can offer. Personally, I'd always recommend wool. Wool is a far superior product in durability, in quality of finish, and the overall look and finish of it all. So it is a nice one, but of course for many people, for the boot area, nylon is sufficient. I would not recommend mixing the two. If you go for wool panels, go for a wool mat, and vice versa as well. This happens to be a stock one that we have in stock. Customers only ordered the boot panel trims as he ordered a wall carpet off us a few years ago. So that is that one there. It's worth noting for the petrol injection cars, obviously there's upgrade kits these days where they end up moving the fuel pump often below the boot mat. If you end up doing that, you no longer will require a petrol injection version. You actually want to switch to the carb version. So bear that in mind if you're getting the updated. I think a lot of people go for this Bosch upgrade kit, which moves the fuel pump underneath the actual boot mat. Then you want the carb version of the boot trunk kit. Speaking of, let's go on to the carb. Exactly the same concept. So you've got the black grain millboard panels, originally a 5-piece kit. Obviously it has the cutaways here for the hinges of the actual boot lid, and same again for the prop on the side there. The left side of it, as you look in the boots, doesn't have that bendy round corner. It's just a flat panel because the fuel pump is in a completely different place for the carb cars, and the left side panel there is actually slightly shorter because of that factor as well. But very similar in its principle. Again, we've done an upgraded version, trimmed in wool all the way around. Again, just in black in this particular case, but we do a lot of colour kits. And then for the boot domes, you want a pair of them because obviously that area is exposed there now that the fuel pump is not in that corner section there. So yeah, that pretty much covers it. And obviously you've got the boot mat carb, which doesn't have the cutaway there. Obviously the PI has a cutaway to allow for the corner cutout of the fuel pump, but the carb doesn't. It's fairly symmetrical in that regard. But yeah, so like I say, that's the carb, and that would also be the kit that you'd want to use if you had an upgraded Bosch fuel pump, or other brands available, I'm sure. But the upgraded moved fuel pump from the PI, you would end up using the carb kit there. Anyway, I think that covers it. Please remember to like, subscribe, and of course check out the description below. There might be some useful information in the description that I've overlooked in this video. I do most of this off the top of my head from my general experience and knowledge, but needless to say, I always forget something. So check out the description below. There'll also be links to other useful videos that might be good for your TR6 restoration, and of course there'll be links on there to how to inquire about any of the parts in this video and other parts for your TR6 restoration, so be sure to check that out. Thanks for subscribing. Please remember to like and share with other classic car enthusiasts, and I will see you next time.